You are listening to Level Up Your Gaming Podcast, episode 75, Salvaging a Game Headed South. Today we talk about salvaging your failing game. We discuss how to analyze your game to figure out where the problems are. We will then discuss how to either to end your game or move on to a better story. If you'd like to participate in the discussion or leave us feedback, you can contact us at levelupyourgamingpodcast@gmail.com or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/levelupyourgaming. If you like the content and want to hear more of the show, subscribing will ensure you don't miss an episode. New episodes come out almost every Wednesday. Also, please review, tell a friend about the podcast, or share with your gaming group. Now sit back and enjoy the episode. Welcome to Level Up Your Gaming Podcast. My name is Aaron, and joining me in person once again, he'll keep this episode from going south, Jared.
I liked that. That was good. That was good. I will try to keep this episode from going south.
This is a disclaimer to our viewers that if you hear a loud thud or multiple loud thuds, Jared's two young kittens might be getting up to no good.
Yeah. So they're kittens, so they're babies, and they like to run and play, and you know, we have all sorts of stuff they can play with and knock down and figure out, does this break when it hits the floor?
The curious mind and also the destructive will.
Destructive will. Yeah. But yeah, how's your week been?
My week has been going well. I got engaged.
Woo! Where's the applause button?
I think it's this one.
Yeah, give yourself some applause.
So I got engaged. We are in the throes of planning a wedding. We're going to get married later this year. She will pop on the podcast. We have an episode in the pipeline about being the spouse of a gamer. So Jared's already got a spouse, and now I'm going to have a future spouse here. So we figured, let's just do something kind of dual recording and kind of get some different perspectives here.
It's important, because most gamers want to be in relationships, and I think getting the woman's perspective on that relationship is important.
Or the man, if you're the woman playing and your man
True.
doesn't.
Yeah.
So just any spouse. But no, the week's been going well. I had an interview, didn't get the job, but keep my head up high.
I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
That sucks.
But no, other than that, can't complain too much. How you been doing?
Not bad. I'm trying to make sure the kittens don't kill themselves. No, I just got back from or kill each other. I just got back from Arkansas. It was funny. People said it gets hot down there, and it's like it's essentially on the same latitude as Southern Illinois. I'm like, no freaking way it's gonna get that hot. Holy crap. Like one morning I woke up, and literally by the time I got to my truck, now mind you, I leave at like 6 o'clock in the morning to go to work. Because, I have meetings starting at 7. So, it was 83 degrees at like 6 in the morning. And that's a firework, if anyone was wondering. I live in a neighborhood where people love their fireworks. Love them. We've been going through this since the 1st of June. But they're really great neighbors. As of 9 o'clock, they will stop doing that. They shut it down at 9. Like 9 o'clock. I don't know if somebody from the neighborhood told them, like, there's a 9 o'clock sound ordinance, but they take that real serious. It's like I love my neighbors. I live in a largely Hispanic community, and my neighbors they throw parties, like full on mariachi bands, music, food, family. They're really cool. But like the stroke of 9 o'clock, it's like they have one of those like large switches from movies, and it's just all the lights go out, the sound just shuts off. I mean, it's like it'll go from mariachi to just silence in like at the stroke of 9. They're very serious about that. They're really great people to live next to, because, like 9 o'clock, that's a reasonable hour to shut it down, and And I've never had to get into it with my neighbors about like, turn that music down like 9 o'clock. Because I remember when we first got here and they had their first party and we didn't know them. You know, I mean, like there was a full on band in their backyard. And my wife's like, oh my God, we're going to have to deal with this all freaking day. They're party people. We're next to party people. I mean, they must have had 75 people in their backyard. Right? I mean, like it was nuts. And then like 9 o'clock, I mean, the lights go off, the music went off. It was like, are they following neighborhood ordinances? Do people do that? And like, sure as shit, you know, we've been in this house for, I think, a little over 5 years. And like clockwork, man, 9 o'clock, they just pull the plug. But according to my brother's girlfriend, so my brother's girlfriend is from Mexico. She says like 9 o'clock is when, you know, like it's time to put the kids to sleep. There's those sounds we were telling you about. It's when they put the kids to sleep and the adult party starts where they all sit around the kitchen table and talk and laugh and drink. Yeah. But that's why it gets so quiet because like all the kids are like to bed. So she's like, yeah, the adult party has then started. I was like, oh, okay. Well, makes sense. So, there are all those sounds that we were warning you about. We warned everyone. So what's our topic for today? Obviously, it's not fiestas in the backyard.
No. This is when the fiesta goes south. So what this topic is about.
Fiesta goes south. What did you?
This is about when
alcohol.
when your games start to go south and salvaging or trying to salvage a game that's gone south.
This is something I have a great deal of experience in. You know, when games go south. It was funny when we were talking to the Dungeon Masters Dojo guys. You know, they were like, we haven't really had many games that we could say just went horribly wrong.
Yeah, I said that they haven't had a game that's flopped ever.
And it's you know it's interesting because comparatively to our style, where I've had so many games that have flopped. I can't even count. Like, I can't even recall most of them, you know, because they flopped on, like, night 3. I'm like, we did that game? What?
Or on night 1, hour 1, when I...
Well, yeah.
When I ruined the game.
You did. Single-handedly. I mean, you and Brian have, I think both actually had a good hand in that.
We had a good knack for it.
Because you know, Brian, you know, I want a big knife.
That one didn't even get off. We didn't even get... We were taxiing for takeoff at that point.
You guys hadn't even boarded the plane.
Jared's like, nope. Shuts the flight deck. Everything shut down. Nope, we're done. Turn off the lights. We're going home.
So that brings me into our first point. So first, when you have detected things are starting to go south, there's the first examination. Okay? Examination number 1. Is it me or is it them? Okay? You know, sometimes storytellers find themselves with a rambunctious party. Sometimes because, you know, you've taken over storytelling from the usual storyteller and the usual storyteller becomes a player and you find out he's actually a problem player, as most people would put it.
Which is weird because you would think good storytelling translates to good players.
No, not the case. I honestly can legitimately tell people, like, I was a terrible freaking player until about like 2 games ago.
Just like GMing takes practice, being a good player takes practice. Mm-hmm. We'll have a podcast on that in the future.
We will, because we want, you know, Brian's kind of perspective on it as well. Because he has a lot more experience as a player. I have experience of, you know, I feel like I've finally gotten to become a good player. But, so, examining whether or not it's them or you. Although I said, you know, like this is the first examination, it is sometimes difficult to discern. Are your players, let's say, misbehaving because your game is too boring? You know, and really what you got to look at is, am I hitting everything? Am I making sure there's enough action for Aaron? Am I making sure there's enough drama for Brian? Am I making sure that, you know, there's enough puzzles for Larry? You know, you go through everything that we've been talking about for over 60 episodes, and you kind of take a peek and am I making sure my team is engaged? Do I make sure there's at least one action per every 2 sessions, if not every 1 session? Do I make sure at least somebody threw a fist so our barbarian can crush them into the wall? Did I make sure there was at least one puzzle for Larry to figure out in the last 3 game sessions, and he really got to be triumphant? Am I doing my spotlight moments? Am I making sure my players are still involved? Yada, yada, yada. That's really how you can determine, is it me? Am I hitting my points? Am I doing everything right? You know, and if you're coming up with like, no, I'm hitting plot points, I'm doing all this, you know, I'm making sure that I'm hitting everything. You don't see anything wrong with the story. You're not bored with the story. You know, you still enjoy telling it. Then you can really, is it my team? You know, I've identified that I am not the source of their misbehavior because I'm running a boring game, or I'm, you know, it's a topic. I'm the only Star Trek fan of my group. Everyone else is Star Wars. I'm running a Star Trek game, and, you know, I'm being too technical about shit. You know, like, haha, you did not activate the LCAR's command sequence. Huh? What? You know, you're not trying to teach them lessons. This is how you really sail a jib.
Again,
I think a jib's a sail, though. You don't actually sail a jib.
No, I don't think you do.
You know more about boats than I do.
I don't. Actually, I don't know. I know dick about sailboats.
I know nothing, and you will never get me on one. After being in it wasn't an actually horrific accident because nobody actually got hurt, but my father essentially flipped a sailboat with me in it. I was younger. Sail came down on top of me. That's like the 2 things that I remember is just this giant sail coming down on top of me. I remember swimming under the water, poking my head up, and I just started screaming, "I'm drowning! I'm drowning!" And, you know, I mean, like, I've got a life jacket on. But, you know, my brother looks over me and he says, "Jared, put your feet down." And that's when I learned that the water was, at that level, was probably under 5 feet deep, or under 6 feet, because I've always been a tall guy. So I learned something that day that you'll never catch me in a sailboat. Powerboat's fine, yeah, whatever. Sailboats, never again. But back to our topic at hand. Sorry, I'm getting off track a little bit today. This is what my students said they used to love about me, though. It's because I never stuck to my lesson plans. We'd always end up talking about cooler things than, you know, what I'm supposed to teach them. Sorry, folks. What you are hearing in the background is cats jumping off of stuff and onto stuff and them trying to pounce each other. So, you know, after you examine, is it me? Then it's time to examine, is it them? Are they for example, one of the things that, you know, I noticed, you know, alcohol in games, you know, some people can handle it. Some people can't. Love my brother to death. He gets sloshed if he drinks during game.
Yeah, he gets silly in games.
He gets silly wasted.
Yeah, and
it's not good. His playing essentially always devolves into the same thing. He becomes a pirate. Because I think deep down my brother has always wanted to be a pirate. I think that's. He wants to be a director, but deep down my brother wants to be a pirate on the high seas. The sea is in my brother's veins. It's in both our veins. So, just not me with sailboats. I would not step on. Jared has got 17 sails that are like the size of Volkswagens. Nope. Not getting on. Because one of those sails comes on top of me, it just means I got a Volkswagen to swim under. So, you know, are you encouraging alcohol in your games? And, you know, Jack always, you know, drinks half a fifth of Jack, and then his barbarian always just goes around punching people. You know, is it that your players are just blowing off steam? They did a really super serious game with the previous GM or previously with you, and they're kind of done being dark and scary, and they're quietly telling you, like, we need something more fun and
something more light, something more fun. And that's also, that comes into the idea of pacing your games and understanding what you need to do after a big, long game or a really emotional kind of thriller game. That's a whole different art in and of itself.
It is.
But let's say that you've chosen the right genre for the game. What do you do to kind of keep people, and what do you do to kind of bring the game, like the game's starting to go under? Maybe again, you're right. Is it you or is it the players?
Now, if it's you, so the first thing that I'm going to do is examine where am I failing, right? This is a quick and easy fix. I am not providing enough action, right? Quick and easy fix. I'm going to start inserting action every 1 or 2 game sessions. Like I say, I recommend 1 or 2 game sessions. At least somebody's got to get dogged in the mouth. You know what I mean? After that, if it's a more complex thing, like it's me, I really developed a story that is intrinsically about discovering oneself in times of crisis, and the whole theme is about self-discovery, and my players really aren't into that at all, and they're not getting the point, so it's kind of me. The first thing that I will always do is, okay, how quickly can I end my current story and move into a next story? Now, we're talking about the same campaign, same players, but, I've got my current line. Now, you might say, why do I have to end my story? I've got a great story. Well, here's the thing, is your story has already been tainted in the eyes of the players. You know what I mean? They're misbehaving because the current story. Changing the story changes the setting. You know what I mean? So, for example, they've been going through the mountains of 1,000 Tears for 83 game sessions. Mm-hmm. It's time for them to get to the plains of fluffy kittens. Sorry that everything comes down to kittens. Now I have kittens on them. So now they're in the plains of sunlight. I built a survival game, and it's easy to switch the story. So, for example, Walking Dead, you look at season 1, it's really a lot of movement, and keeping moving. And then you go into a season, I forget which one, they find the prison. And then it's really about...
It sort of ebbs and flows between them finding a safe place for a little while, then losing the safe place, going into more of a wandering mode, and then finding a new safe place.
Yeah, and so it's essentially it's time to find the safe place where they can start building things. It changes the whole tone of the game. All right, guys, we've been wandering southern Georgia for, 83 freaking days or sessions. Let's find a place to live and actually start building things, and you will see a dramatic shift. If that's something that they're going for. But when you are building your solution, make sure your solution is addressing your deficit. That's what a lot of people, they don't do. It's something I didn't do. I was like, okay, I'm just going to switch the game. I never analyzed my deficit.
You would just switch the game until we made characters and you found something that's stuck.
Exactly.
Effectively, all you were doing is kicking the can down the road to find the next... The
next generation will solve this problem.
to find the next solution, which was effectively what you're saying there is, assuming that you don't have something broadly wrong with the characters, meaning that your players like their characters.
Mm-hmm. They love their characters.
Okay.
Let's say that.
So your players love your characters, then all you have to do is change your story. Change the setting around which they enact. Because that will bring your players into the direction that they want to end up going. Mm-hmm. It's really tough though if your players, and again, it's tough if you're trying to execute a really long, complicated story and your players hate it, because you're going to have to find a way to end that story fast. So
I would say within 3 sessions you need to do it.
The challenge is like let's say that you're setting up this massive fight against. We'll use our necromancer
The old Necromancer.
Okay, and you have this long epic plan about how the players are going to learn new things about the Necromancer, and they're going to go to this ancient undead city, and use the special key to get to the Necromancer, and blah blah blah. But their ultimate end bad guy is the Necromancer. Okay, you can't kill that story until the Necromancer is vanquished.
So you need to find a way to vanish the Necromancer. Apparently I'm Jamaican. You need to find a way to vanquish the Necromancer a little bit faster. And please, here's the thing. As with all stories, think about your ending. A knee-jerk reaction is like, oh, the Necromancer you're looking for? Psh, he's at the inn that you guys just checked into. Kill him in his bed. Kill him in his bed. Don't do that. Actually, put your story to rest. It'll rest with you a little bit better than when you're just like, all right, the guy's in my game. All right, I'm just gonna put him in the bar where they always go, and he's gonna check in and yada yada. All you have to do is make sure he doesn't have an escape plan and meet the players in any way, shape, or form. Seriously,
we literally just talked about this with the reoccurring bad guy, which is if you want the players to kill the reoccurring bad guy, show them his neck.
Yeah, there you
go. They'll do it.
Nail on the head. Just maybe your Necromancer has decided like I'm gonna go meet these fools in person, and his whole bodyguard is like, this is a bad idea. No, I'll be fine. I've got an escape plan, and the escape plan either A, doesn't work, or B, isn't there, or doesn't even think he needs an escape plan because I'm such a powerful Necromancer. And then they slay his bodyguard, and he's trying to run through the forest, and, here's the thing. Prep your music for it. Actually do a freaking session. Yeah, go for it. End it properly. So your players are like, oh, that 86, or 83 last sessions that we did were not for naught. It wasn't just like, oh, he was an easy kill. No, make it a good kill.
Yeah, look at what your players have maybe been doing. Maybe they've aggravated the Necromancer so much the Necromancer is finally just gonna come right out into combat and meet them.
Yeah, and he brings his 5 Death Knights.
If your players aren't up to the challenge level of the monster that you've created or the villain that you created, guess what? Tone down your villain.
Just tone him down.
Just tone him down. Okay,
tone him down or fudge your rolls.
No one's going to know or care if you tone down the villain.
No one's gonna know. No one's gonna figure that out. Oh my goodness, I have kittens that are looking for sleepy time now.
Yes.
They've torn apart the house. Now it's time to sleep.
Which is perfect. Better for recording situations.
Yes, much better. So, what you need to do is just tone down your villain, and at that point. Now, so let's say that it was you, and we've addressed our deficit. We've changed our story. We might even change locations. Some of the more mission-based GMs, like the king gives you this order. Orders change. Priorities change. Here's the thing, though. Let your, and you might be tempted to go down that road. Don't.
You also might be in trouble there, too. What if your problem is, we've talked about this before, that the issue is that somebody's giving you orders about what to do.
That could be a big one. Trust me.
Then it's like, listen, if you finish this one up, we're done. We'll consider your debt repaid, or
your debt is repaid. Your service to the CIA has been completed. We're going to give you some time off. Because trust me, orders can be such a tricky thing.
And then you give your players time to kind of, feel out your world and learn new things about it.
Yeah, and exactly, you're welcoming them into seeing the rest of your world. So let's say the issue is the players now, because for a GM, it can be. Again, we've addressed
one or the other, yeah.
Either one, and I will come to an ultimate solution, which I have done in the past. It's a sad thing to do, but first I want to address the player issue. For example, if it is drinking at the game, I've seen it, been there, done that, got the T-shirt. You have to have the uncomfortable conversation of like, hey, Jack, you can't drink a fifth of rum at game anymore.
Yeah, if it's any external behavior, it's going to be an awkward conversation.
It's going to be an awkward conversation. And all you're asking Jack to do is not get plastered at game every week. And if he's like, but dude, this is my thing. Like, I get plastered. Like, this is my time to relax. Well, if getting hammered is the goal, why don't you stay home, play some video games, and get hammered? I mean, I don't want to tell Jack, like, perhaps you should go talk to AA, because apparently every Friday night your objective is to get wasted.
If your goal is just to go out and hang out with friends and just get drunk, I mean, like, then there's plenty of other opportunities or ways to do that.
Exactly. We can do that on Saturday night as friends instead of Friday night, which is game night, or we'll insert, if the rest of the group is like, yeah, we love getting thrashed on Friday night. Okay, well, once a month, how about instead of game, we do getting thrashed, on Friday night instead of doing game. But on those other 3 weeks where we get together for game, we don't get thrashed. If it's a problem player, go back to our episode about talking about problem players and how to deal with that situation. Sometimes it might come down to the unfortunate conversation of not welcoming someone back to a table, but we have a whole episode dedicated to how to deal with that problem player. If it's the fact that your players are just a rambunctious group, this is kind of a little bit of them, a little bit of you.
You have to mold games that kind of fit what they want.
Exactly. You got to know your players.
KYP. Okay, that comes down to that. If your players are
like
rambunctious,
harping old ladies, KYP.
I mean, so much of it comes down to KYP.
It does.
Okay, and the worst part is, like, did you have a bad session 0? Okay, and you didn't limit a player specifically or appropriately, and now you're dealing with a situation where you've got a player, you don't know what to do with their character because you didn't think about how they fit into the story, or you didn't give them enough guidance. They came in late in the game. You didn't give enough guidance.
My personal favorite is like, I let them build this monster, like, and
then you're mad that they're destroying your game with this monster.
Exactly. Then it's just a conversation with that player about maybe changing characters. Like, dude, and honestly, okay, so my wife, everyone knows, is a therapist. It's about open and honest communication. Don't be deceptive in why you are asking them to change characters. Dude, I let you build a monster. I'm sorry. He's fucking up the balance of the game. He can dodge a hit level of plus 40, where the rest of the group can dodge plus 3. I need to roll a 40 just to hit him, and the rest of them I can hit at a 3. It's completely unbalancing my game. Can I offer you a new character? We can talk about what level you can start off with. Oh, you always wanted the Sword of the Ice King? Perhaps you're the last heir. I see you've been looking at that Tasha's Treasure Trove, or whatever the hell that Tasha's Burning Cauldron, or can anyone tell I'm not a D&D player or GM?
But no, you're looking for a way to kind of like, can we make a compromise and get you to play something that fits better with the game?
Exactly. And the nice thing is that
it's not as unbalanced, or
when you've identified that, that is something that you can work through over the course of a couple of weeks. It's not as fast as like when you realize that, like, oh shit, my whole story is crap. The characters are good. My story is crap. I'm going to build a game that will address that deficit, and I need to do this probably within 3 weeks. Otherwise my players are going to shut down my game.
But the worst thing that you could do is to have no situational awareness to it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you have no situational awareness to it, then it's going to continue to fester until finally people are just be like, listen, I don't want to play. Or, or you're going to find zero engagement when you throw something at your players. And it's going to be like, then you end up in the situation that Jared had, which was, all right, we're done. Guess we're on to a new game.
Well, and that's the cruddy point we have to bring up. We have to talk about. When you are a storyteller, you are a storyteller of games. Sometimes, even though that we really love the idea, we have fallen in love. We did work. We put, 40 hours of work into just building this fucking game. I built maps. I even created a helm of Oladid, I guess is the name of this hero. I carved it, or I don't know, whatever they use to do cosplay stuff. I even built one. Sometimes it comes to the point where you actually have to shut it down and tie it off.
You can't love your product so much that you're unwilling to cut your losses.
Sometimes you got to fold. Sometimes you got to walk away from the table. Sometimes the damage is irreparable. Because if you're looking at my story and going like, I don't have enough action, my players hate my game. Like specifically, a great example that we've kind of already touched on is I have a bunch of Star Wars players and I wanted them to play Star Trek. And all of them, all day long, they just make fun of it because they're like, wish I had my blaster instead of this stupid freaking phaser. Now, mind you, for our Trek fans out there, I am a Trekkie, okay? I think Trek is so much better than Star Wars. Sorry. I don't. I really enjoy both, but I grew up on Star Trek, not Star Wars. I grew up with Picard as my captain. Okay, period. I know there are a lot of people out there that are like, Kirk is my captain. I want to look at them and be like, did you watch Kirk? Did you grow up with Kirk as your captain? Because I grew up with Picard as my captain. People who are younger than me should be like Janeway or Sisko. Sisko is my commander. Janeway is my captain because Sisko is actually just a commander until later in the series.
Again, this is why people love Jared as a teacher because he's kind of segue.
I would segue like that in the middle of class and be like, well, technically Sisko was. Sometimes it comes to the point where you got to shut it down. You got to clear it. And here's the thing: don't do yourself the disrespect, like I've done in the past, and literally just told my players, halfway through a session, at the end of a session, at the beginning of a session, I've told my players like I'm just shutting it down 100 times. Do yourself the respect of coming up with a 3-session closer. 1, 2, 3. This session they're going to do this. This session they're going to do that. This session they're going to do this. And then notify your players that the end is coming. Hey guys, they walk in that first of my 3 sessions, just letting you guys know, thinking about closing this up in about 3 sessions. Why? Because for those 3 sessions, they're not sitting there going, well, we're gonna continue to make fun of your Star Trek,
or we're gonna continue to hate this game. They might engage with the last.
They might engage with the last 3 sessions and be like, okay, we can be cool for 3 sessions instead of being idiots. Or, hey, we did notice that for the last 3 sessions, this got a lot better, and you might end on a positive note rather than just like, we're ending on a negative note. You guys hated this game, clearly because of I did A, B, and C. You don't have to sit down and, be like, all right, guys, I'm ending it because of A, B, and C. You don't have to do that. Just end on a high note. You realize, if it was you've realized where you went wrong, and for your next game, you're gonna plan a little bit better. Maybe listen to a couple of our podcasts, ways that you can level up your gaming. So shameless plug. Haven't done that in a while. We haven't done.
Done
Cheetos.
The crunchy snack that always satisfies.
I can't wait to do ads. If we ever get ads, guys, I promise to make our ads entertaining. So, if we ever get ads, so when it comes down to that, give yourself the respect of doing 3 sessions and then shutting it down. If it takes 4, it takes 4. Try not to exceed 4 because we're talking about a month now. You're asking a lot of players that have hated your game for, 83 sessions, and now you're asking them for 4 more. Try to do it in 3, And the reason that you notify players, because you might be like, why the hell am I notifying them that the game is going to end? Maybe somebody else wants to storytell, and this is a good time to kind of tell them, like, if you were planning on doing a game, I'm giving you 3 weeks notice. I mean, most businesses can can fill a slot in 2. That's why you give 2 weeks notice. So it juices up Larry to say like, oh man, I really wanted to tell a story of the Mer people. And he can start building his game. Give him 3 weeks. Let him know so I can start building stuff. I mean, games don't pop out of hats, and anyone who's an experienced or storyteller knows that if I have games that are just popping out of hats, either 1, I am fantastic, or 2, I am doing real shit games. It's one of the two, because if anyone thinks that like I am Matt Mercer, and
you are not,
you are not, because that motherfucker gets paid to sit at home and come up with game. If you did that for me, every game Aaron and Brian would have would be fucking majestic. If I got paid to sit home and build maps and come up with music, instead I have this job that I have to attend so I can pay my bills. But if that was my job, that'd be a huge advantage. No, but if you're like, I'm pulling games out of my ass and I'm just as good as Matt Mercer, you're not. If that's what you think, you're not, because there's no, or you're Superman, I guess.
Or you have the shine. I mean, I don't know.
The shinin. Maybe you do. God bless if you do. You're 1 in a million. If you're not, if you're not 1 in a million, you're not 1 in a million, but you're still thinking that, you got something going on. But yeah, calmly shut it down and come up with a new game. Now, if all your players look at you and go, no, ask them why. Why don't you guys want me to shut this down? And if they tell you, no, we're loving your fucking game,
then it's you.
What? Ask them why. Figure out the details. If they're like, no, because our objective is to get thrashed every Friday fucking night. And this has been it. Like, you've been hitting it. Because we're getting smashed. Guess what? The game is actually, you're the one who's not enjoying it. And we have a whole episode on that. If you are not engaged and you're not having fun telling that story, this isn't, hey guys, come over and I will entertain you for 30 minutes. That'd be the shortest game sessions ever. And I will entertain you for 4 hours. That's not your job as a storyteller. This is a time coming together as friends and enjoying a hobby that we all enjoy. Do not continue a game just because your friends fucking love it. If you hate storytelling, it's like going to a job that you hate. You need to find a different job. Okay? You need to find a different story to tell. And they have to be accepting of that, because you're their friend, and friends should want the best for their other friends. Like, oh man, Aaron has really hated telling this story for like 83 sessions. Shit. Maybe I'll take him out for a pizza or something like that. I'm really feel bad that he's been doing that. So even though I can't take you out for pizza, keto pizza. I'll find a keto pizza.
Found a good one last week.
Delicious.
Oh yeah.
I ain't making it.
I'm not asking you to make it.
Okay, good. But yeah, so even if your friends are like, no, wait. Now if they tell you, wait, we want to build a story, be like, okay, I'm shutting this down in 3 weeks. It doesn't mean that we can't have 2 weeks off so you guys have a month and change.
Like, I mean, you don't have to game every week.
You know
or
what?
You could just
we'll go out
together.
And get thrashed for those 2 weeks. We'll go out to the bars, or we'll come over and, Aaron, Brian, and I love zombie movie nights. We pick a zombie movie night and we just watch some crappy zombie movies, and we love it, especially when our theories turn out to be true. Who'd ever guess that shit? Like, but that's a story for another day. So that's all I got.
I think that puts a nice little bow on everything.
Zombie movie night?
Talk about. Yeah, zombie movie night.
Puts a nice bow on everything.
It does. It really does. But if you have thoughts on, how to salvage a game when it's going south, have you ever done it successfully? What techniques did you use to do it? Or do you go the route that Jared used to go, which is let's just
Let's close the
Close
book.
the book, and we'll just make new characters or do something else.
Hey, it's 7:50 at night. We usually game till 10. We're done.
But anyways,
Build new characters.
Let us know at levelupyourgamingpodcast@gmail.com or facebook.com/levelupyourgaming. You can comment on the post or send us a message. We'll reply to it there. Or if you want to hear about a different topic or subject, send it that way. We answered a question for Mike. We've answered questions for Gary and Chris. Those are some of the listeners that have written into us to get some of their questions answered. So we'd appreciate it if you want some advice. We're here to help. And if you do enjoy watching this show on YouTube, smash that like button. I'm going to steal it from you.
Oh, I had a good one because you ended with zombie movie night, so I was going to say eat that like button's brains.
Just keep smashing it. But don't smash too many times. It better be blue when you're done, okay?
So it better be blue. If it's blue, that's good.
But anyways, otherwise, go ahead and review or subscribe to the podcast, share it with a friend, all that other good stuff. And that's going to wrap us up for the week. So for Jared, I'm Aaron. Have a great week, guys.
Have a great week, everyone.